What's up, guys? It's Dr. Jim. I am your chiropractor, your natural healthcare expert, and your worldwide virtual health coach, and I want to welcome you to this video. This is part 5 of the 5-part plan of how to overcome autoimmunity and chronic healthcare conditions naturally. Does that sound exciting? This is part 5. This is literally the cherry on the top. This is the cornerstone. This is the star on top of the tree. This is if you were to follow this one strategy that we talk about today, it is going to take years off of your journey. You are going to be highly successful in working on your autoimmune condition because you're going to do it faster, so you're going to spend less money, and you're going to have much better results if you follow this one strategy that we talk about tonight. So please welcome to this video, the 5-part plan this is part 5 of the 5-part plan of how to overcome autoimmunity and chronic healthcare conditions naturally. So when you're getting on, please let me know where you're coming in from and whether you're watching it live on the replay, because I love to know all that information because these lives are going out all over the world. I'm excited. So let's get started. I don't want to waste any time because I got a lot to talk about tonight. Thank you for getting on. I appreciate it very, very much. Please like this and share this and put it out everywhere because this is life-changing information. So we're talking about a 5-part plan on how to overcome autoimmune conditions and chronic healthcare conditions like diabetes naturally. Well, if we're going to talk about then how about, let's say, I don't know, maybe we should recap what the 5 are. So number 1 was you got to put out the fire, right? Well, we talked about a lot of times we spend a tremendous amount of time with our health conditions chasing the symptoms. And if you keep chasing on the symptoms all the time, the symptoms aren't the problem. The symptoms are a result of the problem. So what you have to do is you got to go to the source. You got to work on the autoimmune condition. You got to fix that. You got to put out the fire. Number 2 is you want to get off of the treatment merry-go-round, right? You know, so many times we're just running from doctor to doctor getting more tests and more tests just so that we can give more names to how lousy we feel. And the truth is that that's not going to get you anywhere other than frustrated and broke. Because unfortunately, more and more testing to find more and more names, the truth is they're probably not going to be able to find a name for it anyway. So number 1, you want to cut down on all the tests, so getting off the treatment merry-go-round. You want to question the standard care. You want to beware of the guru protocols, and you have to understand that there is no magic bullet. Now, I did give you my insight as to if there was a magic bullet, the 2 things that I think are closest to it, and that is CBD oil and vitamin D. So if you don't get anything else out of those videos, start taking vitamin D and get CBD oil. You can message me if you want to know what I think you should take. All right. So number 1 is you got to stop the food fight. Number 2, you got to get off the treatment merry-go-round. Number 1 is you got to put out the fire. Number 2 is you got to get off the treatment merry-go-round. Number 3 is you got to stop the food fight, right? Everyone argues over what diet's better than this diet and what's better than this diet. And the truth is that there is no best diet. You know what the best diet is? It's the best diet or eating style that is for your body. And everybody's body is different, so you have to find out what's the best eating style for you, and that's what you need to follow. And the best eating style for you is not necessarily the one you love the most. What I'm saying is the one that works best with your metabolism. And so everybody has different metabolic factors. Some people don't process carbohydrates very well. Some people don't do well on high protein, or some people don't do well with high fats. So you have to find the exact right diet for you so that your body can flourish and heal. And that's ultimately very important when you're working on overcoming autoimmunity and chronic health conditions. Number 4, you got to follow the blueprint, right? We talked about that there's a bunch of different pieces to putting a house together, and if you don't follow the blueprint, you're trying to put the roof on before you get the walls up, you're going to have a problem. Well, it works the same way in taking care of your autoimmune and chronic healthcare conditions. If you don't work on putting all the pieces together in just the right order and just the right amounts, the whole house is going to come down. So you got to follow the blueprint. Now that brings me to part 5. All right, that was the recap. Now we're on part 5 of the 5-part plan on how to overcome autoimmunity and chronic healthcare conditions. Number 5 is you need a guide when you're going through the jungle. All right. So what I want you to do is I want you to imagine. All right. I want you to imagine that your health journey, your journey to overcome autoimmunity and chronic healthcare conditions, think of that journey, think of your health like a jungle. All right. And, just think the jungle. There's quicksand, and there's poisonous snakes, and there's poisonous spiders, and there's dangerous animals everywhere. And, you could fall into a ravine. You could get trapped. There's just danger everywhere. And the same thing happens when we're talking about your health journey. There's all kinds of traps and dangers, and you don't know which way to turn, and am I going the right way, and am I going to get stuck? Am I going to end up in the quicksand? So very, very important is if you want to make it through this jungle, you need a guide, all right? Because this is the cool thing about a guide. A guide loves the jungle, all right? The guide has been through the jungle many times. The guide loves to help other people get through the jungle. And the guide has helped hundreds of people before you get through the jungle safely. So if you want to make it through the jungle, then you need a guide, all right? It's really important. Now, the second part is, what does a guide do, right? Well, if a guide's going to help you, one of the reasons the guide can help you is because the guide is going to have a compass, and maybe he's a little more advanced like me. The guide's going to have like a laser-focused GPS and maps. And so what the guide's going to be able to do in helping you get through this jungle, your journey, a guide is going to be able to, with laser focus, be able to say exactly where you are in the jungle, all right? Know exactly where you are right now in the jungle. Pinpoint accuracy. And then be able to tell you, okay, now I know where our destination is. I know where we got to go. And I know the exact route we have to take to get there. All right? That's what a guide does for you in the jungle. Well, guess what? I am the same kind of guide on your journey in autoimmune and chronic healthcare conditions, all right? Because I have a compass at my disposal. Actually, it's far more advanced than a compass. I have a laser-specific GPS type of test, all right? So we have a test that we use. It is specific to you as your fingerprint. It is called a metabolomic precision health test, all right? It's a blood and urine test where it can test over 5,000 of your metabolites. Now, metabolites are the end products, the waste products left over from metabolic processes that happen in your body. Every biochemical pathway in your body leaves a metabolite. And by testing all of them, we can know exactly what's happening in every process going on in your body. Talk about a laser like GPS. We know exactly where you are right now. But not only do we know exactly where you are right now, we know where we want to go. And this test and the interpretation of the test that I do for you as your guide, I know the exact route that you need to take to get to the destination you want, right? That's why you need a guide, because a guide's got a compass and a GPS and maps, and is going to be able to tell you exactly where you are right now and exactly what you need to do to get to where you want to go, all right? And unfortunately, most of us just get dropped off in the jungle, and it said, like, take a right at the big oak tree. Well, there's like 1,000 oak trees in this jungle, or whatever kind of trees they are. And, we don't know if we're turning at the right one or the wrong one. And so you need a guide to make sure you're taking the best route to your destination, the most exact route, so that you can avoid all the dangers, all right? You can avoid the quicksands and falling off the ledge, right? Does everybody get this concept? Like, I hope you're in a jungle right now and imagining this is you working on your health condition, and that at every turn there could be a snake slithering down out of the trees, right? Or some type of spider trying to crawl up your arm. But with a guide, I can help you with my compass and my GPS, my laser focused test, a test that is more it's better than a DNA test. And this is why, because this test doesn't tell us. DNA tells you what could happen, all right? A metabolomic test tells you how your DNA is expressing itself in your environment right now, real time. So we know exactly how you're doing right now, and we know exactly how to get where we want to go. So with this test, this single test, the only test you will need to overcome autoimmunity and chronic healthcare conditions is this test and the laser focus compass that we're going to help set you in the right path. All right? So that Now, when you have a test this sophisticated, that's why you need a guide. And that's what I'm here to help you with, okay? Now, number 3 is a guide knows what to expect, all right? Now, I had a hard time coming up with this analogy, so bear with me. So when you're tromping through the jungle, sometimes you might be like, oh, look, a pretty flower. And the guide's like, don't touch that, that's poisonous, right? You're like, but it looked nice, I thought I should. No, that's poisonous. But then there's other times where you have to go into a tough place. Maybe your guide is taking you down through a dark, scary cave, and you see bats flattering around, and there's water dripping, and you're really tight, and you're a little claustrophobic, and you're moving through this really tight, dark cave, and you're scared, and you're like, why are we in this cave? Well, because your guide knows that even though the cave is a little tough, it's not the best, you don't want to be there. If you hadn't gone through the cave, you'd had to gone 10 miles out around, and you would have ended up in a swamp, and you'd have possibly gotten eaten by crocodiles or, piranha, okay? So the point is that your guide, they know what to expect, all right? They know what the good things are good and the bad things are bad, and they know when the things that seem kind of bad are actually good, all right? Because that's really the biggest thing. Because as your guide on your natural healthcare journey, when in overcoming autoimmune conditions and chronic healthcare conditions, I want you to understand that as your guide, you need somebody who understands that how your body heals. Because there's ultimately 5 stages of healing. And they can be really confusing because not all healing feels great, all right? So like stage 1, in autoimmune and chronic healthcare condition healing is what we call the initial improvement. Ooh, don't we all want that initial improvement, right? Well, when we know exactly what to fix, and we know exactly where we're going, and we start fixing that, sometimes within a single day, people immediately start to notice improvement. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't you like to notice immediate improvement? And you start feeling really good. You're like, this is awesome. I can't believe it. Like, I already am feeling great. I'm feeling awesome. And you're so excited. It happens all the time. Now, this is the thing. That initial improvement, that stage may last from 1 day to 30 days. But then the next stage comes in, and that's called the reparative stage. Now, during the reparative stage, because what happens is when you are sick, what was happening is your body is basically running on stress hormones. It's running on adrenaline. It's running on cortisol. It's running on dopamine. It's just ramped up and running hot on these chemicals. Think about you're living on caffeine and nicotine, all right? A horrible example, but just imagine somebody who's living on caffeine and nicotine. It's the same thing, all right? Now, when you have this initial improvement, guess what? All those stress hormones stop, which is super awesome for your body. So your adrenaline goes down, your cortisol goes down, all of this comes down. But guess what that's like? That's like cutting out caffeine and nicotine, all right? So those hormones come way down. And so some of the signs and symptoms that you're in the reparative stage is all of a sudden, now you went from initial improvement to now you kind of feel fatigued, you're tired, you need more rest, maybe you're hungrier because your body's trying to repair, right? You may sense hunger, water retention is a big part of it, and then inflammation, right? You might actually hold on to water and inflame because your body is working on repairing tissue, all right? Now, did any of those things sound like, yes, I want to have water retention and be fatigued and need extra rest and feel sleepy? No, none of that sounds great. But guess what? After the initial improvement, if we know we're on the right track, guess what? This is a stage your body has to go through to repair itself. And if you don't have a guide that understands that, what happens is you thought you were doing great, and then all of a sudden you started to feel like you needed to sleep more, and you felt water retention and some inflammation, and then you went, it doesn't work anymore. I don't know what I was doing, but it's not working anymore. But if you have a guide, I can be like, no, no, no. Your body, all of those stress chemicals went away, and now your body's working on repairing itself. So I'm going to recommend you get more sleep. Do all the things that your body needs to do to repair. All right? So that's stage 2 of healing. Stage 3 is what's called the contraction stage. You can imagine what you're doing there. You're kind of dumping some of that excess fluid and working through that. Stage 4 is the remodeling phase, and number 5 is the maturation stage. But what I want you to understand is there's 5 stages of healing, and going through each one of them, you need somebody who understands them to know where you're at to help guide you. Because not, like I said, every stage has different things that you might feel or notice, and if you think that it doesn't feel great, I don't want to do this anymore, or I don't think I'm going in the right direction, well, you're going to miss out on the healing, right? So having this knowledge changes everything, and that's why you need a guide, right? That's why I'm here to guide you. Because think about it this way. If you skin your knee, like, you know, that really bad playing basketball in your driveway, just right across your knees, and it starts bleeding, and then, you know, bleeding, and then it finally stops, and then in a couple days, what does it start to do? Well, it starts to scab, right? Now, what is a scab? A scab is the body healing, right? Now, my question to you is, does a scab feel good? No. Sometimes they hurt. They definitely itch. A lot of times there's some swelling around them. But guess what? That is the body healing itself. So, but if you don't know that, if you don't understand the stages of healing, then what you're going to do, you're going to be constantly trying to scrape that scab off, and that is never going to heal. All right? So that's why you need a guide who knows what to expect on your journey to help guide you. And when you get to a stage where it's like, oh, I feel really tired and all that, what's wrong? So instead of treating the tired symptom by, here, we need to jack you up for things with more energy, how about you need more sleep, your body is repairing itself, this is awesome. That's what we wanted. You're repairing. And after that, you're going to go through the contraction stage, and you're going to have to pee a lot because you're going to be dumping all this fluid out. All right? So understanding all those stages of healing is really, really important. Now, hold on. I got to check all my notes. I want you guys to understand something about me while I'm checking why I'm going through this. I want you to know that I literally get nervous every time before I do one of these. And this is the reason why. Because I believe somebody's life is in the balance here. I know that there are people that are sick and suffering out there who need this help. And I feel if I don't do a good job, somebody is not going to get the help they need, and their health is going to suffer. Their family's going to miss them because they're not going to go to events. You're not going to do the things that you want to do. You're going to miss out on your life, and I feel responsible for that. So I get nervous before I do these, even if I don't seem like it. So I'm just checking my notes to make sure that that I hit all the parts that I want to hit. All right? All right. I think I did pretty good. So, recap the 5 parts to the 5-part plan of overcoming autoimmunity and chronic healthcare conditions. Part 1, you got to put out the fire. Part 2, you got to get off the treatment merry-go-round. Number 3, you got to stop the food fight. Number 4, you have to follow the blueprint. And number 5, you need a guide if you want to get through the jungle. All right? I want you to know that I'm here to be your guide. All right? That's what I'm here for. Because not only that, because number 1, I love the jungle. I've been in the jungle a lot. I've helped a lot of people go through the jungle. All right? So I'd love to help you get through your jungle as well. Number 2, because I have a compass and a GPS and maps. I have a test that is as specific to you as your fingerprint. That's going to test every metabolite in your body, well, 5,000 of them, to know exactly what's going on in every metabolic pathway in your body so that we know exactly what's broken. We know exactly how to fix it. All right? I'm talking about things like your cellular energy production, your mitochondrial function, your microbiome, the status of your gut health, your neurotransmitters, your inflammatory markers, just literally every biochemical process in your body, your B12 metabolisms, your carbohydrate metabolisms, it's going to tell us exactly the perfect diet for your body based on your metabolism and exactly what's out of balance with you. We therefore know exactly what your body needs to fix it, right? So I have the compass. I have the laser pointer. I know exactly where you need to go. And then number 3, I know what to expect, all right? I know the stages of healing. I know what your body's going to go through, and I know how to help you get through them, even when they're not, even when you're through that initial like, wow, I feel awesome. Now I feel tired. Well, good. Sleep, repair, heal. It's awesome. That's what you want, all right? You need somebody who has that experience, who knows that. I'm here to be your guide, all right? So that is the 5 parts. So what I want you to do, if you are interested in, basically what I'm going to do is I'm giving you an option tonight. If you would like to the testing that I'm talking about, that to test all these metabolites, literally the most specific test in the world to help figure out what's going on and how to fix it, all right, with your autoimmune conditions. And I don't care if it's Hashimoto's thyroiditis, if it's Graves' disease, if it's lupus or MS or type 2 diabetes or psoriasis or eczema or, name it, all right, rheumatoid, any autoimmune condition or chronic healthcare condition, I want to help you, all right? So if you want the test that I'm talking about, if you want more information about the test that I'm talking about, if you'd be interested in finding out more information about that test, and then ultimately, what you would do is you're just going to put test in the comments. You put test in the comments, and in your messenger, you're going to get a message, all right? And basically, that in messenger, basically what you're going to do is you're going to testing in the you put test in the comments, and in messenger you're going to get a message that basically explains the test and the program to you. After seeing that, if you're interested, then what you'll do is you're going to message me that I would like a consultation, all right? And I am doing free phone consultations for anybody who wants this type of program, all right? Thank you, April, for your comments. Go ahead and put test in the comments and we'll send you some information, okay? So if you put test in the comments, in your messenger, you're gonna get like an automatic response with great information about the test and the program. And then once you check it out, if it sounds like something that you're really interested, which it should be, then basically we'll get in contact and we'll set up a free consultation so that you and I can talk. A 15-minute free consultation on the phone so that I can find out exactly what's going on. Really, it's for me to determine whether you are a good candidate for this program, all right? This program is not for everybody. This is only for people that are really serious about taking control of their health and getting better, okay? This is a test this is a program that requires some commitment, all right? It is not a magic bullet. You're not going to take, one single pill and go, oh, I'm all better. That's not how it works, all right? So if you'll just put test in the comments and we'll send you some information, and I'm super excited to help you. Follow me on YouTube. Please like this and share this. Going out everywhere. And just like I tell my son every day before he goes to school, be your very best today. # never quit. And I believe that God wants the very, very best for you. And the day you believe that, change your life forever. Have an awesome, awesome day.